nervous, man? You look nervous.
A little bit.
The atmosphere on board is light-hearted.
I was there.
But as the plane climbs, the weather begins to close in.
Within 5 to 10 minutes after we took off, we actually entered the clouds. And from that point on, for probably 20 minutes, we were in complete whiteout, meaning all around the airplane was white. We couldn't see the land, we couldn't see the ocean, we couldn't see anything.
Pretty thick, huh? Breaking.
A little bit unnerving, you know.
Will and the guys hold tight, obeying the golden rule of skydiving.
Skydivers aren't supposed to fall through clouds. It's just a matter of safety because people can get disoriented.
Sorry, guys, I thought we might find a break.
We were expecting at some point to come out above the clouds, but we just never did.
With no break in the clouds in sight, the guys decide to turn back.
Okay, guys, it's too thick.
It's just not worth taking the risk.
We were a little disappointed, but we all skydive a lot, so it wasn't a big deal, you know, we'd get over it. We're used to clouds and, you know, you don't jump through clouds generally, so it was fine.
But as the plane turns and makes its way back to base, they hit serious trouble.
Within 20 seconds after we started going into minor turbulence,
God, I hate this car.
it just got worse and worse.
Okay.
Then the plane started going into massive turbulence. I was definitely not a happy camper, you know. I didn't want to be in a little tiny plane flying crazily all over the sky.
No.
Seconds later, the plane begins to lose control.
The plane is just going haywire. It even started to tilt. I was on the ceiling, I was on the floor, I was on the ceiling, I was on the floor. I was frightened. At that point, there wasn't much we could do except ride it out or jump out.
Get the lag.
With the plane now hurtling towards Earth,
Open up the hatch.
Will and his friends have no option but to take drastic emergency action.
And at that point, we all started going for the door, trying to get it up. It was the only thing we could do. It took us 4 tries to get the door open because we were being thrown about the airplane so much.
Come on.
Despite not knowing how high they are, and if they have enough time to parachute properly, they dive into the void.
Once that door was open, my butt was out of that airplane. I did not want to be there. I knew that. I trust my skydiving equipment. I trust my parachute, and I did not trust that airplane at that point. I just got out. 5 to 8 seconds later, my automatic parachute went off, which means I was going at a very fast velocity at about 700 feet. We were very low in very low cloud cover, and it was a shock to me. At that point, I looked around for my friends. I saw Jimmy under his canopy as well, going the other way quite a distance off, and Manny was under his canopy next to me, flying parallel to me.
Will is desperate to know that his old friend, Manny, is okay.
I kept calling out to him to try and get his attention so that we were coordinated on landing. Manny! But he never answered. And he was just kind of limp, you know. His head was hanging down, and my assumption at that point was that he got hit by the airplane coming out. It occurred to me that he might be dead.
Just seconds after jumping, Will is now hurtling towards Earth at 40 miles an hour, with absolutely no idea where he might land.
crashed in the water behind me. And I looked back and saw the tail of the plane sticking out of the water. I was in somewhat shock at that point.
Will has hit the ocean, still attached to his parachute rig, and he must act fast to avoid drowning.
If you land in water, you want to get your chest strap off so that you can take your gear off immediately and swim under the parachute. At that point, it was really about focus and trying to do the right thing, so if there's a chance of survival, that you survive. It took me 2 or 3 minutes, and that was a pretty scary feeling because you can actually get tangled up in the lines and drown.
On surfacing, Will's first thoughts of his friends. They've also dived out of the plane. One of them, Manny, seemed in serious trouble.
I removed my shirt and my shoes because I wanted to be able to freely swim over and find Manny. I felt the need to act fast because if Manny was unconscious, then it was important to get to him and keep his head out of the water.
Manny! Manny!
You guys all set? You bet. Let's go flying.
Both Justin and Tommy are qualified pilots, with experience of flying over the Colorado Rockies.
We were going to go up and basically do my standard sightseeing flight, and our expectation was to go up and be back for lunch and then head home.
Out in open country, the friends find flying is the perfect way to watch the local wildlife.
Larry was looking here, looking there, pointing. He was like a kid in a candy store.
It was gorgeous, and all positives and nothing but fun and Yahoo, yay.
An hour into the flight, the friends decide to head higher into the mountains. In front of them is a vast ridge of snow-capped peaks. But as Justin tries to pull up and over them,
I looked at the instruments. You have a feet per minute indicator, up or down. And we were doing almost 800 feet a minute down.
a strong downdraft is dragging them straight into the mountains.
If I didn't do anything, I mean, that's going to be a horrible crash. You got to start making decisions. So I tried to turn the plane. But the stall warning would beep. If you stall, then you fall out of the sky. What I needed to do was get us on the ground without killing anybody.
Justin's pilot training kicks in. He knows he has to stay calm.
At that point, it became about slowing the aircraft down to minimize the impact as much as possible.
Your adrenaline goes off like crazy.
All of a sudden, you're about to die.
Time slows down.
We hit the trees.
Big, horrible banging noises.
Miraculously, Justin is completely unscathed. But the three friends are far from out of trouble.
The first thing that I remember seeing was the fuel. It was just like, oh my God, that's fuel. That scared me.
One spark could turn the wreck into a giant fireball.
Larry! We gotta get out now, Larry! Fuel's everywhere. We gotta go.
I told Larry, you have to get out of the aircraft right now. And he told me that his leg hurt. I explained to him he has to get out now if he doesn't want to burn to death.
Finally got it together. I managed to go backward out of the plane.
The plane could blow at any second. But Tommy is unconscious. He's taken a serious blow to the head.
Wake up. Tommy, wake up, man. We gotta get out of here. Tommy! We got fuel everywhere. Wake up, wake up!
I yelled at him and he didn't respond.
Tommy! Please.
I was very concerned that I'd killed one of my best friends.
Tommy, come on!
Justin has to haul Tommy's 220-pound dead weight out of the plane.
The first thing I remember is a horrible pain in my side, and I believe that is when Justin broke my ribs.
The three friends have to get away from the fuel-soaked wreck. But Larry can't walk.
As soon as I put any weight on the leg, I just I immediately fell over and screamed.
Larry, get up. Come on, stand up. Stand up. Head up, boy. Come on.
When I got him to his feet, the pain in my side was excruciating. But I felt it was more important to get away from the gasoline than it was to worry about the pain.
The three men somehow managed to get far enough away and out of danger.
I looked at the plane. It was, wow, we could have all died. I thought, we're pretty lucky to walk out of that one.
Tommy and Larry are both seriously injured. As well as his broken ribs, Tommy has also taken a massive impact to his head. There's no way of telling if he has brain damage or internal bleeding.
The most life-threatening injury I had was the blow to the side of my head that had knocked me unconscious.
Larry's left foot took the full impact of the crash, leaving his lower leg and ankle badly broken.
It was useless, so I couldn't walk. There wasn't much that could be done for me. It had to be left alone.
For me, taking off is scary.
It's gonna be okay, baby.
So I remember just concentrating on being still and just being calm and breathing.
Costa Rica is a small country that is both densely forested and very mountainous. If visibility is poor, low-level flying can be extremely dangerous. And clouds are gathering.
When I look out of the window and I see clouds, that's a little frightening to me.
Fine, okay?
I don't particularly like flying up there because it is a rough ride sometimes. They are small planes.
But on this flight, Michael sees something out of the ordinary.
I noticed the two pilots conferring with each other, looking a little concerned, and I realized what they were doing was looking at coordinates in these books, trying to pinpoint their position because they weren't sure where they were.
The plane has basic navigation equipment on board, but the pilots are relying on charts and maps to reach their destination. But now they're flying in dense cloud and almost zero visibility. They're unaware that they're already off course and heading for a mountain.
These clouds are getting very dark.
It's fine. Brandy said, look how thick these clouds are. And so I looked outside of our window, and it got darker and darker.
Oh my God! It's horrifying. That was my ultimate fear coming true.
What goes through your head is the fact that you're not going to live through this.
You're headed for the mountain. You're headed for the mountain to die.
I remember thinking, we're not flying anymore. We're going through the trees. Is this even happening?
My stomach dropped. My mind just went blank.
To hear things break apart, just the sound that it makes is unbelievable.
My first thought was, you're not getting out of this.
I wake up and it's freezing cold, and my entire body was soaked in jet fuel. I was in a plane on vacation, and now I'm in a black hole that I can't move my legs, and it's blood just everywhere. Brandy was head to toe blood. And I remember thinking, oh my God.
Brandy! 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 Wake up! Can you hear me? Brandy! Wake up, Brandy! Brandy, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
My first memory was Brandon talking to me.
Brandy, listen to me. You gotta get out of here. We're covered in jet fuel. Oh my God. Get your belt. Let's go.
I remember feeling completely panicked and completely in disarray.
Hurry, go! Get away from the plane!
Outside the plane, Brandy is horrified by the devastation of the wreckage and the bodies of the two pilots.
Trees were knocked down. There was a mess of plane parts, wires. There's smoke everywhere. There's people wandering around. There's people that are dead. How could this have happened? How could the pilots have let this happen?
Good
morning, Tower. This is Romeo Delta.
That's great. Lovely morning. Sun in our eyes, and, we're off.
The team has hired pilot Adam Pope, who knows the region well.
It is very spectacular. It's very remote and kind of pristine wilderness. Everyone was quite buzzed up. I don't think Mumba was quite so keen. He'd never flown an airplane before.
Zambian Mumba Chikungu is here to provide the men with local knowledge.
You okay? Yes.
The men are planning to establish a conservation park in the area. And the aim of this morning is to spot large herds of buffalo.
As we flew around, we saw about 6 or 7 elephants.
We were really looking for buffalo. They are usually quite plentiful, but I wasn't finding them.
Okay, take me down. Let's have a look down there.
He said, let's go in and see what we can find.
They're flying towards a wetland area where buffalo might gather. But this means flying in close to a huge escarpment rock face.
We had to get in quite close to this escarpment to be able to have a look at them properly. We were traveling quite fast.
Hold on.
The closer they get to the escarpment, the more turbulent the air becomes.
I noticed that the airplane seemed to be descending.
Then suddenly, the air sucks the plane downwards.
You get these vortexes that come off the ridge, and we'd flown into one of those.
At full throttle, Adam attempts to pull the plane up over the oncoming escarpment to escape the vortex.
I was trying to keep the airplane going at maximum revs to keep the nose up. The stall warning came on. This is bad news. I know this is really bad news. We were in serious trouble.
It seemed like we were not going to get over the top.
Just seconds before impact, Adam manages to bank the plane.
I managed to get the wings level, but we were going down.
Going in! We're going in!
What happened is that we just lost it.
Going in! We're going in! Brace! Brace!
I had about 10 or 15 seconds to say I had a good life.
Brace!
And then we hit.
The plane is shattered on impact. All 4 men are trapped inside the fuselage.
I woke up, and the first thing I knew one had to do with these situations is get out of the airplane.
Get out! Get out!
I wasn't really aware of where I was. I must have been somehow aware that the right way out was on my right.
Pilot Adam struggles to free himself from the wreckage. He's in for a shock.
I landed on the wing, but then, there was this huge pain. Shoots through your whole body like an electric shock. And I immediately knew I'd broken my back.
Adam has escaped the burning fuselage, But he's now helpless on the wing, where the fuel for the plane is stored.
Fire!
As fuel leaks closer to the flames,
we still had a significant amount of fuel on board, and I was lying on it.
the smallest drop could ignite the fuel tank, turning the plane and all 4 men into a fireball.
Fire! Say, get out! Get out!
Mumba scrambles clear, but Clive is still inside the wreckage.
I remember waking up. First thing I saw was Adam lying on the wing. I smelled aviation fuel. I thought I had to get out of here.
Get out! Get out now!
It was hot and it was horrible, and there was just carnage everywhere. There was a very steep slope, and I just rolled down the hill.
The plane is a ticking time bomb, ready to explode with Adam stuck on the wing.
I was scared. I thought, this is not good.
There was flame coming out of the engine. There was a fair amount of fuel leaking from the wing.
Fuel is very, very explosive stuff, and the slightest spark or flame, the whole thing fireballs. The slightest contact and the whole thing will blow. And there was nothing I could do about it.
Miraculously, the fire burns out. The most immediate danger is over. They're still 150 kilometers from land.
Where the hell is it gone?
And he can't even see the refueling plane through the clouds.
Back off! Back off!
Couldn't hide from my own guys. They saw me up close and personal and what I was up against, trying to get this damn probe in this drogue. Yeah, there were a few choice words that came out of my mouth inside the cockpit. There's no doubt about it.
The cloud ceiling is dropping, going down to 500. Air Force Rescue 112.
We're doing a lot of suggestions, turning in a different heading, different direction, climbing down, all different situations to find clearer air so we can get gas and get home.
We'd like to try this at 500 feet.
Dave takes the chopper lower to get below the storm. But the turbulence only gets worse.
Come on. Come on.
We'd been doing this for more than half an hour. Well, now I knew we were crossing that line, that things were beyond our control, that we may not get fuel. And once I realized that, the thought of ditching the helicopter became a reality. And that was actually the most frightful period for me of that whole mission, was that thought, to realize we may have to abandon the helicopter.
Altitude 490 feet.
Dave knows he may only have one more chance to connect with the refueling drogue and save his crew.
5 minutes of fuel remaining.
At that point, my low-level fuel lights begin flashing. Now it's decision time. If we don't get this fuel, we're all going swimming.
5 minutes of fuel remaining.
Dave has run out of time. He faces the hardest decision of his life.
There was no option left. If I continued to use that fuel, thinking of my own ego that I can do this, that I can make this, you know, that could have killed everybody.
He can't save the chopper, but he might be able to save his crew. With the last drops of fuel, Dave takes the chopper down to let them bail out.
Okay, listen up. We are ditching this chopper. Jim, prepare the life raft. John and Rick, get ready to jump.
The pressure to make that decision had to be enormous. There was no objection from the crew, but he wasn't asking.
Okay, guys, let's do this.
I was scared. I didn't think we were going to survive.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. This is Air Force Rescue 110, ditching at coordinates 3.
It was something that I don't think everybody really believed was happening, even though it was actually happening.
So when he said ditching, I didn't think I could do it. I think it was more of a being scared out of my mind.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. This is Air Force Rescue 110, ditching at coordinates.
With just minutes of fuel remaining, the crew prepares survival equipment and the life raft.
5 souls on board.
Okay, I'm coming to the harbor. I want everyone out of here.
Air Force 988 to Air Force Rescue 110. Copy your mayday.
Dave hovers just above the crest of the waves to let the crew bail out.
The waves now are a lot bigger than what they had been when we were trying to get the guy in the sailboat.
Dave is now so close, he runs the risk of a high wave taking the chopper out.
Okay, I'm not able to hold this much longer. Altitude, Dave, altitude. We're running on fumes. It's time to go.
Number 1 engine offline. Mayday, mayday, mayday.
It could be seconds before we're going in the water. My number 1 engine flames out of me. I'm hovering on 1 engine.
I could actually hear the turbines wind down. I knew it was going to fall out of the sky at any moment.
Everyone out! Everyone out!
They must time their jump to the split second to hit the crest of a wave.
If you mistime your jump and hit the trough of a wave, you're looking at falling 70 feet. So hitting the water at 70 feet would be like hitting concrete.
But they must jump now. The chopper has only seconds of fuel left.
We're running on fumes. It's time to go.
Rick will be first to go. If he mistimes his jump, he could fall 20 meters into the trough of a wave and kill himself.
He looked like a spring, coiled, ready to jump. I don't recall him ever taking his eyes off of the ocean. He never looked at me.
Rick vanishes, and John gets ready to jump.
I was looking out of the aircraft at the water. I couldn't tell exactly when to jump because I couldn't tell the difference between the crest of the wave and the trough of the wave. I remember having this thought, oh my God, this is a long way down. I think I ended up going in facing the sky. I was completely out of body position. I know there were going to be consequences, that this is not the ideal way to enter the water.
Now there's only a few drops of fuel left.
Graham, get ready to go. You're going to. Dave, just do it, Graham. Go, Graham, now.
This was a bad situation. The likelihood of surviving it is extremely slim.
Only Dave and Jim are left on board.
I pushed out the raft. The raft blew up, but then all of a sudden it just went black and the raft literally just kind of blew away.
Stunned by the ferocity of the storm, Jim can't bring himself to jump.
I just sat back on the floor of the helicopter. Dave didn't know I was back there.
Unaware, Dave gets ready to ditch.
Once I realized that my crew had exited the helicopter, I moved at a distance that I felt was safe, that I would not put the aircraft down on any of my crew members. and I simply waited for number 2 engine to flame out. My mind was thinking in terms of seconds, what had to be done sequentially, 1 second after the other.
Without a thought for his own safety, Dave flies on, a safe distance from his crew.
I felt for Dave having to take the helicopter in. I didn't think he would survive the ditching.
Dave's out of luck. The second engine flames out.
Body of the helicopter hit. It was a boom, boom, instantaneous, a twofold action.
Instantly, the blades contacted the water, and that's when it got really violent. It was like someone took the helicopter itself and just lifted up and smashed it into the water. The water came in and instantly flushed me out of the cabin.
The helicopter immediately filled with water. I mean, the only thought was to get out of the aircraft immediately.
But Dave's door is jammed.
And I'm thinking to myself, this door is not going to open.